talk about is the protection. And the first thing, if you look at the pod, we put the propellers in the rear side of the pod. So propellers tend to be protected if you run into minor debris by the gear case up here in the front. And if you look at the very bottom of the pod, there's a skeg. This piece down here, a little hard maybe for some of you to see, but this piece here has a few pins on it, and that skeg can break away. So if you had a minor grounding, the skeg can break away and the entire gear case is retained. And then the last thing, the pod is also designed to shear away. If you were to have a hard grounding or strike something very substantial, the gear case below this trim tab right here is going to break off. And when you come around, you can see bolts. When you have a chance, come and look, you'll see the bolts here. The bolts actually break, and then that entire gear case can rotate away from the pod, the hull. And that's actually one place where the trim tab also serves a second purpose. If you imagine running aground, the gear case is going to tend to get trapped between the bottom of the hull and whatever you hit. Well, this tends to protect the bottom of the boat, because most of the time the gear case is going to get swung back and come up and hit this. And if you look at this, this is a bronze tab. It's pretty thick and substantial, and that protects the bottom of the hull when you have a breakaway event. We've had a number of boats that run aground with Zeus. We've been selling Zeus now since 2007. And as you guys all know, people run aground in boats if they boat enough. And in every single case that the gear case was struck hard enough to release it, it's always worked correctly where no water went into the boat, the gear case snapped off. In some cases they've been able to recover the gear cases. There was even one Zeus boat in Australia that hit a whale, and that was enough to break off the gear case. But in every single case, it's braked away with no water intrusion into the hull. So that's something that you can talk about with people in terms of feeling comfortable operating the boats with that protection. There should be these cards that have gone around. They outline the things that we just went through as kind of a quick reminder. And then if you flip the card over, you're going to see a phone number on the back. Part of the protection we provide is our distribution network. Most of you guys have already dealt with the Cummins distributors, and you get good support with them. But helping them and helping you is this concierge service we have that we call Merle. You see the numbers on the back. And that number can be used by you or by your customers if you want any help. So if a customer brings a boat into a new area and they don't know where to get their service from, they can call that number, and somebody on the end of the phone is going to help them figure out where to get it serviced, or when are the standard service intervals, things like that. If there were ever an occasion where you weren't happy with your Cummins distributor, this is also an advocate for you inside the factory, where you can call in, and their job is to be your internal advocate within CMD to make sure a service event is, meets your requirements. Part of that protection, of course, is also the warranty. There's a standard warranty that's 2 years coverage for everything within the system, the pod, the engines, and the controls. And then there's 4 years of coverage for the major components.